First, let's talk about Miami. Now, this is for an international audience, but everybody cares about David Beckham. So just assess where that all is and when that's going to get done.
Well, today was the, a giant leap towards an MLS team in Miami. David Beckham and his partner Todd Bowley, who will be the primary investor in the team, met with
Guggenheim guy, really well qualified.
Yep. And they made a presentation to the MLS owners, led to a vote. That vote basically granted sort of approval, if you will, for the commissioner and my staff to work with them to finalize the deal. So we're close to being at the finish line. We're not quite over it. We've got some work to do, but we're feeling pretty good about it.
In terms of his transition from player to potential owner, rank David Beckham amongst the most influential people in MLS history.
Well, he was a very influential guy in driving us to be what we are today. He said it was okay. Our league sort of was worthy of the respect of the rest of the world. Had a great career with us for 5 years, and importantly, kind of spoke out to the rest of the international football playing population and said, hey, this is a pretty good place to play. This league is on the rise, and you might want to be a part of it. That led to Thierry Henry coming to the league and so many other great players. Off the field, David is not just a celebrity, and I think many people know him that way. He's just a very bright, very focused, very articulate guy. Grand vision for Miami, grand vision to try to see MLS grow to even greater heights from the ones that he was able to help us to in 2007 through 2012.
You're the definitive beekeeper. You don't know what that means, but the buzz all over as far as expansion, you're controlling the buzz. And so 24 teams up to 28 teams. Now you got to choose among the 12. Pleasant problem choosing among the 12 and then leaving maybe 10 to vie for the next group. Exciting process, normal process, gratified that you have so many to choose from?
Yeah, it shows how our league continues to sort of be the driver of the creation of this soccer nation that we like to talk about. We launched our league with 10 teams, and now we have 12 markets that are looking to take the last 4. Empowering, but you got to be smart. So I don't care whether there's 12, 10, 9, or 8. We need to have 2 great ones that'll be voted on in December, and then 2 better ones perhaps a couple years later.
Now the Europeans, it's interesting because now that you'll have up to 28, they're asking whether or not relegation is a possibility. We all understand the financial structure of the MLS, but explain why, is relegation a possibility?
No.
Okay, now explain why.
Well, ultimately we have a structure that works, right?
Yeah.
Think about what we're trying to do. We're investing in infrastructure, building stadiums. We have union agreements, we have broadcast agreements, sponsorship agreements, all based on the teams that we have in our league. If those teams come and go, all of those things get upside down and would make no sense. The stability of the league, its growth has been fueled by investors who have made long-term commitments, and those commitments are not going to go away because they have one bad year. So I don't think anybody should be expecting it's happening anytime soon.
And plus, you guys, you've had relegation embedded in your systems for 9,000 years. This is a league that's created an entirely different structure. So that's the answer there. As far as the overall Premier League and values, 6 of the top 10 teams in the world, value-wise of all sports, are Premier League teams. Assess how the Premier League is run and how valuable it is as an entity.
It's the most valuable professional sports league in the world. I mean, it has a global footprint. It's got global revenues and opportunity. Well run, well operated. Richard Scudamore, their league chief executive, is smart and focused. I think they're just terrific.
So, developing new players and keeping them here. Hulk and Tevez signed for deals with the Chinese Super League. Are they competitors to attracting major players, or does the tide lift all boats?
I don't think so. I don't even think that we're on the same ocean, right? So their tide's is really irrelevant to our tide. I think our league has got a very different approach, very different value system, and a very different offering for players. The idea that people would come here to retire is something of yesteryear, not our future. And I think most players will say when they go to China, it is their last move.
Young people are playing. 3 million kids are getting in, the 35-year-old average age, right? And the 12 to 17-year-olds, they like soccer, second of all sports. How do you keep it young?
You just got to continue to focus on our core value, which we are the sport for a new America. This country is young, it's global, it's diverse. It's very, very driven by new ways of thinking and new connections. They're absorbing media differently, and soccer plays right into that. So I believe we'll continue to be the league that has the youngest fan base. Frankly, I think it conceivably even get younger than it is today.
where do you think the MLS is in the pecking order? We know it ranks 7th in global attendance, but quality-wise, which is ephemeral, you can't really quantify it, but you're better than most. Where do you think it fits?
You know, I think it fits probably where we are with attendance. You know, it's not yet in the top 5. I think we're not far away from that. We've got work to do to achieve that goal, and our goal is to be among the top 5. But it continues to improve every year. And speak to Bastian Schweinsteiger, who was interviewed in the New York Times the other day, and he said that he thinks our league in 10 years will be as good as the Bundesliga, which I think is the most valuable, you know, and successful, certainly from an attendance perspective, league in the world. So, got some work to do.
Are you still running this league 10 years from now?
No.
You know, he said he's got to leave. That's about as good as it gets. All right, get out of here. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let's see.